1-2-1-2, I go by the name of DJ What, and you're now listening to the original Jeek Podcast. Let's go!
Ready to make an entrance, so backward cut. Come on, cut for me.
Oh yeah. Whoa, slow down. Whoa, speed up.
Fresh.
Yeah, making me itch.
What up, Jeeks? This is your host, the one, the only, Rockin' Mr. Magic, and this is the original Jeek Podcast. We are back for another episode here as we are closing out 2025. And joining me here, I am pleased to announce a special first-time guest on the show. If you are into, well, you're here, so you're into podcasts like this one. Yeah. He is the host of a podcast similar to this one, hailing from Providence, Rhode Island. He is the co-host of the Codex Prime podcast, the longest running podcast in Rhode Island. And he is a member of the Worldwide Fleet DJs. Welcome to the show, DJ Mr. Byrd.
Hey, what's going on, Magic? Man, love that intro, by the way.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. So glad to have you here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're going to have some fun tonight, y'all. So we're going to run down some things. We're going to intro the Jeek Nation universe to Mr. Byrd with 3 is the magic number interview, so you can kind of get a bit to know about him. And tonight, our main topic, we're going to talk about Stranger Things 5, Volume 1. Oh, I know that's what you came here for, but stay tuned. We're going to get into it. But first, we're going to do that 3 is the magic number interview. So, Mr. Byrd, first question.
Yes, sir.
What is your favorite football team? It could be college or pro, but your football team that you love more than no other.
You're gonna hate me for this.
I go for it. I maybe not. We'll see.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, I don't hate you for that. That's
okay.
That's okay. I don't hate you for that. I mean, I ain't no fan.
I understand.
But I mean, I'm a Lions fan. So I don't hate y'all that much, you know. Now, granted, my mama's family from Philly, so they hate y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
They hate y'all passionately.
Yeah.
But we have many a Jeek in the Jeek Nation Facebook group, League of Jeeks. We have many a Cowboy fan in there, and we comfort them in their 20 plus years of mediocrity. And hey, they don't give me flack for being a Lions fan because we've always been bad. So.
I mean, I always respected Barry Sanders.
Oh, yeah. Barry's that dude. Barry's the GOAT. No running back better, in my opinion.
That's the only running back I'll put over Emmitt Smith.
I can't. Yeah. Well, I now see. Speaking objectively, I'd have to look at some of those greats like Jim Brown. Sweetness, Walter Payton.
Absolutely.
There's some names in there. But Emmett, I always say this: if Barry had half of Emmett's line, it'd have been a wrap.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd have been a wrap.
The best player on a terrible team. That's what it was.
Unfortunately. Yes. Question number 2. Now that we know he's a Cowboys fan. I noticed when you did our online application, if you want to be a guest on this show, go into Linktree and fill out the form to be a guest on this show. One of the things you mentioned that you enjoyed or you're a fan of is comic books. Yeah. So second question is, what is one comic arc that everyone should read?
Ooh, I would. This actually, the Ultimate Universe. The Ultimate Universe that's getting ready to wrap up. And One World Under Doom just wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a lot of fun reading. It was a lot of issues.
Yes.
It seemed like it did kind of like drag a bit, but it still was a fun reading. Very reflective of today's times, in my opinion.
I concur. Yes.
with me, I am a Marvel guy. I'm pretty much a strictly Marvel guy. I do love reading a lot of indies too, but I know that DC's Absolute Universe and their All In series is getting a lot of love too. So I'll I'll throw my hat in there for a recommendation. So but yeah, I would definitely say as of right now, the Ultimate Universe is just killing it.
That's a solid pick. Okay. That's a great choice. All right. Lastly, I noticed that Mr. Byrd is a pro wrestling fan, as are many of us Jeeks.
Yeah.
And those who listen to the show know we have a pro wrestling show, Breaking Ring Rust. Follow and subscribe to that. Being a pro wrestling fan, DJ,
All right.
what is your favorite finishing move?
Oh man.
Seriously, everybody wants to talk about who's the go to this and this and that. No, I want to know what's your favorite finish.
If you want to go finishing moves, you got to go with the stunner. You got to go with the Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, really? Okay.
If
That's
you
a
really
surprise.
want to listen, whenever you saw that stunner, it didn't matter who it got to, who Stone Cold gave it to. And it has to be Stone Cold's finisher. It has to be Stone Cold's stunner. No disrespect to Kevin Owens, but when Stone Cold hit that stunner, how big was that pop?
It was, as someone who hates Austin, it was big. I hated it every time it happened, but the crowd popped.
It worked. It popped. It had that crowd control, and it was simple. Anybody could take it. You can do it on anybody. You can do it on anybody.
Most people could take it. Yeah, some people just didn't know. It was tough when it was getting over. It was hard to sell. You had to really know how to sell properly to sell that move well. Because in all actuality, it's a 3/4 neck breaker. So it's not a sophisticated move. But you had some guys, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, who really sold it well. And then you had The Rock start to oversell it. And then it became a big thing, like who could sell the stunner, the best, or really just make everybody go crazy. Yeah, that's a great, for the crowd reaction, that's a great choice. I can't knock that.
Yeah.
As much as I want to, because I don't want to give Stone Cold props. Yeah, that's a great choice, especially for anyone growing up during the Attitude Era. You saw that a lot.
And it still gets the same reaction. You saw it at WrestleMania 38 when he had his match with Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
you still got the same. Yeah, it was a nostalgic act, but it still has its impact.
There are very few. There are a small handful of finishing moves done by specific wrestlers that will get a pop no matter what. And Stone Cold Stunner is one of those. Shawn Michaels super kicks another.
Absolutely.
No matter what the situation, if Shawn could just be walking down the street and just super kick somebody, and
nobody be mad at him.
Nobody's mad at them. The victim is not mad. They could have had a filling knock loose. They ain't mad. They got super kicked by Shawn Michaels.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a great choice.
My question for you is who invented the Stone Cold Stunner? Who gave Stone Cold the idea of the stunner?
If my memory serves me correct, he got the idea while he was a member of the Dangerous Alliance in WCW, and I want to say, I want to say Larry Zbyszko.
Wrong.
No, it wasn't Zbyszko. Was it Arn?
It actually had nothing to do. It didn't come along until about 95, 96.
When he was in ECW?
Nope. When he joined WWE. When he joined WWE, Michael P.S. Hayes gave him the idea of the stunner.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a wrestler historian.
See, I am to a certain degree as well. It just, since I'm not an Austin fan, I don't dig deep into his backstory. I will say, and this is a big, I get heat for this, but I am someone who preferred the ringmaster gimmick over Stone Cold. But and also, because as much as I don't like the Stone Cold gimmick or Steve Austin as a person, I don't deny how good he was and how much he lost to Owen Hart in the broken neck.
Yeah.
Because most people don't know, and partially because his rise to fame was so much after the broken neck. People don't, most fans don't know how well he could, how great of a technician, Steve Williams at that time, how good he was in the ring. And that was something that I felt bad for him because he was so good in the ring and he could have such great technical matches. And being myself, I'm partial to technical wrestling.
Okay.
I was a freestyle wrestler as a kid.
Cool.
So I appreciate groundwork and grapple work. Well, not a fact, don't fact you, but listeners of this show know, I spent some of my formative years in Pittsburgh and I got to see Kurt Angle while he was still at Clarion University.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I have, and I wrestled in the same wrestling club with two guys who competed for NCAA national championships, and one of them won it twice. So like I was around some top level wrestling and got to see some really high level wrestling. So when I watched as pro wrestling as a fan, I gravitated to guys who could work technically. The Bret Harts, the Shawn Michaels, the Owen Harts. I liked technical wrestlers. So Austin in WCW, Stunning Steve. I was a fan of Stunning Steve. Stone Cold, I really wasn't a fan of because he was a brawler. He didn't do much of holds. That skill that he had shown as the ringmaster, that was gone. And
you had no choice. He had no choice but.
Yeah, but that wasn't his choice. Yeah.
That
wasn't, he didn't choose that.
So you can't really fault him for that.
No, I don't fault him for it because I didn't enjoy the gimmick as well. So, and it was tough because like I couldn't appreciate his matches because it got so formulaic and guys used to have to carry him in matches so much. And I would be like, oh, this is another boring Austin match. But I was like, I get it. The guy is a quarter of what he used to be. And that's not his fault, and unfortunately he couldn't heal the way Shawn healed, to have another, second Hall of Fame career after a big injury. But, he made the most of what he had. And I give him credit for that.
Right.
Oh, well, those are great choices. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, those are great. Those are good questions. Those were good questions.
Oh, hey, I try not to ask same old questions now, because we want people to know what your fandoms and stuff are. Get to really know you. So our next section is what are you PWC? What are you playing, watching, or creating? I noticed you mentioned you like video games. We're big gamers around here. So anything? What's on your watch list? What games you playing? What you getting into?
Okay, so as far as video games right now, I just decided to go back and play God of War 2018.
Okay.
Because that game was beautiful. And then I did get like a news clip that the next God of War game Reyes. So I'm like, okay, the boy is ready. And it just made me think about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play God of War. So I decided to revisit that, and I definitely do the same thing with Ragnarok. As far as watching, one of the shows I'm currently watching right now is the final season of Bel-Air.
I'm behind on Bel-Air.
And this is my thing about Bel-Air. You got to grade it on its own merit. Yes, they're using the same names, but yet they're taking some elements from the original show and just giving it that dramatic twist. And I'm actually enjoying it. I don't like.
I saw one and enjoyed it, and recognized it for the separate entity that it is.
Exactly, and people, and it's hard because I'm still a fan of the original Fresh Prince.
Hey,
if it's on TV, I'm throwing that on and I'm happy. It's an amazing comfort show.
Mm-hmm.
And so people have the original in their hearts. So they're thinking that it's going to be a like a spot on taking the original, but just in a dramatic take. And I'm like, no, it's definitely not. They've taken some elements from the original. Yeah, they're the same characters. It's just that they just gave it a dramatic spin, and it's not bad at all. So I decided to say, you know what? Let me grade it on its own entity and just see what I can get. And I was like, you know what? This is cool. And it's kind of motivating for me too, because, there's successful Black people.
Yes.
And it just, in like the way they're talking about us. Like, I feel properly represented whenever I watch the show. And it kind of motivates me to say like, okay, this is what I need to do to further all of my endeavors.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people don't realize Fresh Prince was only the third Black sitcom to feature a successful Black family.
Right.
The Jeffersons was technically the first, and they were middle class.
Yeah.
And kind of, and then the Cosbys were the second, and they were upper middle class. And then you had the Banks, who were, bottom of the 1%.
Right.
But that was it. And we're talking the end of the 70s into, the 80s and early 90s.
Right.
That was it that you had when it came to, nobody broken the hood as the premise around your show. So the Fresh Prince has a ton of nostalgia for us in that. Absolutely.
Right. And what's also fun for me too, I'm a big fan of Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I watch it, especially, that's why I love the Marvel movies so much, because I'm always Easter egg searching. And they do that in Bel-Air. There's always some type of connection to the first movie. I'm like, oh, I see what they did there. And it's just, and it's fun for me.
It's got a great, you're right, because I saw that in a lot of the connections in season 1, where, the new Uncle Phil, still a frat brother, but this time they had him a little bit more involved with some of the frat brothers and be a little involved. They had him stepping with, Jeffrey still had this mysterious past, but I like that this new Jeffrey is like a cleaner, and he's got this real, mysterious background. That was a very cool and unexpected twist.
Absolutely.
They still tied in Carlton having from the show, having the sitcom having the one drug episode, to Carlton really having a drug problem.
Absolutely.
Focus less on hoops with Will, but still tie Will to hoops, Hillary to fashion. There's been, art with Amphiv. So there's a lot of those tie-ins that keep that similarity with the characters that I really like. I'm just, disappointed in myself that I'm, with 2 seasons behind now.
Oh yeah.
I'm really behind.
Definitely catch up.
It's a dope watch though.
Yeah.
Oh, God of War. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anything creative that you got your hands on that you're hyped about?
I do have, with me being a DJ, I do have a lot of mixes that I do. I am a local DJ here in Rhode Island. I'm on WBRU Mondays at 12. I'm also on 5 other radio stations, most of them on the Fleet Radio Network. So I'm constantly always just, doing sets, making doing blend projects, because I've just always been a fan of blends.
Yeah,
taking one out for those who don't know, is taking the acapella from one record and then taking the beat from another record and doing what the commoners call mashups. It's always been blends.
Blend, yeah.
So in a lot of the Fleet DJs, we have a little subgroup called the Iron Chefs, and we're about to put out a Christmas project soon. So that's going to be available either sometime this week, actually. So
nice.
So it's just all your favorite Christmas hits with some hip hop blends. So
okay, that sounds fire.
Oh, you're definitely getting a car. As soon as it comes out,
I need that. Yeah. I need that. Shout out to Rhode Island. I had never been there until recently. My oldest daughter moved there. Her boyfriend joined the Navy, got stationed. in Rhode Island. So we've driven up a couple times. We're supposed to drive up for Christmas. I don't know if we're going to, but we were just there a couple weeks ago for my grandson's birthday. But it's nice, and by the water is nice. It's quiet. There wasn't too many of us around where where I was.
That means you probably must have been in, let's say, if he's in a naval base, he's probably in Newport.
Yeah, they're by there. I forget the now it's driving me nuts. I forget the name of the town, but it's by the naval base.
Oh, you got to come to you got to come to where I live in Providence, the hood. I mean, there's a lot going down as of right now.
Okay,
but
I've been near. Well, I was by Providence. Oh my God, almost 20 years ago. So I used to work for Liberty Mutual way back in the day.
okay.
And they sent us up to Massachusetts to the home office. And, so many people are insured with Liberty up there in New England. So we went into Boston and we went into Rhode Island a little bit, kind of just doing a tour, getting familiar with the area. And it was like, this is nice and quaint little mini place, mini little state. But it was enjoyable though. It was enjoyable.
Oh, I'll put next time you're in, I'll put you on some spots.
Okay. So I'm a little. People are like, sometimes I can be a little bit of a, I don't want to say like a snob, because it's not a snob, but like I'm not easily impressed a lot of times. I want to be impressed, but not easily impressed, because I'm from Detroit. My mama's family from Philly. I've been in New York. I got family in LA. I've been to some dope spots, but I'm not hard to please either. Like, I don't expect something big. I like dope spots that have a dope vibe to them. And I don't care what type of, how big or small a place is and the city is. I just want to have a good time in a dope spot as a good vibe to.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Because, I got to go up to Rhode Island and see my grandkids and stuff. So I'm with it. So, cool. Well, for those listening here, we at Jeek Nation are so excited for 2026 and what we're creating here. We are going to have a full return of Breaking Ring Rust. We've been off for essentially a year, but we've got an extensive list of topics that we're going to be covering. So keep listening to the original Jeek podcast. Keep your ears out for more Breaking Ring Rust. And of course, our sports show, Finalysis 101, where we did dive deep into the nuance of sports. So before we go to our main topic of Stranger Things Volume 5, which may be the ultimate Netflix show, I got to talk to you all about the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. It's called Zencastr, and it provides a high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Zencastr records video up to 4K to give you the picture-perfect quality that your video podcast deserves. Zencastr will also distribute your video podcast in 1080p to all available video podcast players. The post-production process takes the headache out of audio production. You set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. Ready to start? Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code Jeek Nation, that's JeekNation, and you'll get 30% off your first 3 months of Zencastr Professional. I want you to have the same easy experience as I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. And now we are going to talk some Stranger Things. All right, we are going to jump into our non-spoiler ranking of Volume 1 for Stranger Things, which encompasses episodes 1 through 4. So if you are new to the show, we rank things 1 through 5. So 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Mr. Byrd, how do you rank Stranger Things 5 Volume 1?
Whew, I give it a 3.
Okay.
I'll give it a 3. Pushing towards 4
Pushing towards 4. Okay.
because I like the twist at the end.
Mm,
I did. I
okay.
was like, okay, this is actually going somewhere, and I'm trying to refrain from spoiling, but I could tell like this is gonna go somewhere, and it took an interesting turn for me.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? Something's brewing, and I think we're gonna get something special.
Cool. Okay.
Come day after Christmas.
Christmas Day.
Oh, it's gonna be Christmas.
It's Christmas Day. Christmas Day, 8 p.m. I won't be done with all my normal celebrating. At 7:59, it's gonna turn from Jesus to Stranger Things.
Depending on what time the Cowboys play, I'll be done.
Yeah, I'm around 8. 7:59 turns 8. Boom. We on now. I'm on that because that's when we get the next 4. Next 3, and then the last episode is going to be New Year's Day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Put 3 to push to 4. I agree with that. As much as the fanboy in me would like to give it higher, there's I have to be objective. I pride myself on being objective. There's too many holes that I can poke in to keep me from giving it above a 3.5. I'll say 3.75.
Fair.
3.75 is where I put it.
That's fair. And here's the thing too. It's not finished.
Right. It doesn't have to be a 5.
It can't be a 5 because it's like, all right, it's not finished. We left on a cliffhanger. So it's like saying like the first half of back in the day when The Walking Dead was still good. It's like, all right, I'm like, all right, this is the greatest thing I've seen on TV. But it's like, is it really? Like it didn't finish. We don't have a beginning, middle, and end. Right now, we just have a beginning.
Right. We have the beginning of the end, but it's still just the beginning.
Exactly. So it's like, all right, let's hold this off a bit. Let's hold this off a bit, and we can revisit. Like I would say, revisit a full ranking when it's all said and done.
Yes. New Year's Day, we're probably going to live stream after watching it because I want to know what everybody's thinking of the culmination. It's gonna be a day. I'm gonna tell you that. No, that is fair. I'm glad. So we're on page there, same page, 3.75. Okay, so let's go. We're gonna go into spoiler zone here, folks. So everything past this ranking that we need, Mr. Byrd and I are both in cahoots here. 3.75. That is our non-spoiler ranking. If you have not caught up on Stranger Things Volume 1 of Stranger Things 5, and you keep listening and you get spoiled, your fault. You've been warned. You have been duly warned. I don't come crying to me, he's messed it up. You've been warned. It's up. Episode 1, The Crawl. Let's talk some pros and some cons. One pro to me, from The Crawl, that I don't think I think I noticed like the second or third time of watching through the tunnel network. The fact that our heroes have put the tunnel network from season 2 to their own use.
Right.
I thought that was a really cool kind of Goonies feel, but smart for them to do to keep L hidden, and for them to be able to just keep their movements out of sight from the general public, but as well as from the military.
Right. Genius for that reason. And it also highlights the intellectuality of the characters, how they were smart enough to do so, how, you know what, with all this military research, nobody knows Vecna, nobody knows the upside down like those main characters.
True.
Yes, and now the Upside Down, you can go in and out of it, but nobody knows that place like those main characters, those 5 kids who's been dealing with this since they were preteens.
Yeah.
And they were taking these creatures on as preteens. So now they're like full-blown teenagers, technically adults, but
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to be freshmen now.
yeah.
So they were 10, now they're 14. And they've grown,
Yeah.
grown a lot in that time frame. But yeah, I think that's one of those things where if there was like a mid between seasons 4 and 5, a little mini thing, like it'd have been cool to see them start to work that, because when we see in episode 1, they've got access to the tunnel from the bus that the boys used to hang out in and use as a spot, and
Right.
they've got access from the radio station, and so they've got access from what was the other spot? I think that the boys went in from. I think it was like behind Dustin's. There was like so many different entrances into this tunnel network.
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5.
Yeah, they showed like 4 or 5 of them out from Hopper's cabin. So like it was all over
I
the place.
think one of them was the park too, I believe.
Yeah, one of them was the park. Yeah. So that was like, I was like, that's ingenious, absolutely genius the way they did that. Hold on 1 second, I gotta pause. My door broke and I've got a whole bunch of background noise coming in.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna pause the recording real quick.
Sorry.
You blew my door. My radio is like that.
They just pause right now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be 32 tomorrow, so it's gonna be 8 degrees warmer. Be fine.
Is that you?
Minute. The chef's in store.
This is it, Justin?
It didn't be on me. Oh, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I am back. Here we go. All right. Yeah. So a lot of just really smart planning, I think, went in there from the Stranger Things crew. Another pro I noticed in the storytelling. Wondering your thoughts on Dustin, his character development. They did a lot of focus on what Dustin's going through here in episode 1, The Crawl.
I like it because Dustin was always that comic relief,
Mm.
and it just added more depth to it. You know what I mean? Like, it just shows, like, all right, he just lost his friend
Yes.
in the previous season, and it just shows that how it affected him. Like, if you would have thought, like, maybe season 1, season 2, Dustin, he probably would have just, like, laughed it off, or life would have just went on with for him. Whereas, like, all right, he was deeply affected by his friend's tragic death from the previous season, and he still carries that.
Yes.
So it's just like, all right, he's like a whole nother person. He's still trying to properly grieve. And, I don't know exactly how much time has went on since the events of season 4, but like he's still going through that. There's no timeline of grief. So he's still grieving that. And it shows. And it's how it's affecting everybody around him.
I think they said it's been like 6 to 9 months since the end of season 4 in the timeline. But you're right. He is grieving. There's no timeline on that. A friend of mine, shout out to my girl Jamila Cameron. She and I were messaging on Facebook like 1 o'clock in the morning because we were both up. Neither one of us could sleep, and we were both need to talk about what we had watched. And she was mad about how Dustin was acting. And I said, you gotta look at it this way. Like you said, Dustin was very comic relief, very fun loving. But one thing that's rang true throughout this show is Dustin was searching to establish who he is, really establish himself and what he wants to be. And he's done a lot of hero worship throughout this series.
Right.
First it was Steve, then it became Eddie. And now with Eddie's tragic death, he's at a point where he was still looking to learn and emulate Eddie, and that got ripped away from him.
Right.
And he's not sure how to move on because he feels like he's progressed beyond Steve because Steve helped him get some confidence, make his hair pretty. But Eddie really showed him a way to stand on his own uniquely, not care what people think about him, and really kind of take a little bit more agency. And now he's just like, I don't know where to go with what I'm feeling. And you can see it in how he's dressed. He's not only just wearing the Hellfire shirt, he's wearing his hair more like the way Eddie wore his hair, where before it was still making it pretty the way Steve had it with all the Vidal Sassoon and all that.
Right.
He's really, he's short and curt with Steve now, where, and they've established that early. When Steve's asking for help, he's like, dude, I can't keep solving your problems for you. Before he wouldn't have been that short with Steve. Now he's just like, bro, leave me alone. Like I got other stuff to deal with,
Yeah.
So the development of Dustin is, really, really good. And I'm glad that it's causing, angst between the crew. It's putting some added drama in there because previous Dustin would have been like, yeah, these guys jumped me.
Yeah.
He'd have said something. He'd have been like, yeah, they jumped me.
No, and he held that in.
He held that in. And Steve called him out. He was like, yeah, you fell off your bike. Looks like someone gave into a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah.
He called him out on it. He didn't embarrass him, but he called him out on it. And Mike and Mike was like, "Are you okay?" And I want to call him Caleb. Lucas was like, "Yeah, he wasn't buying the whole story either. He wasn't buying it either." But generally he would have shared that with them. But this time he's holding it in. So we've got some really nice development with Dustin there that I think they're doing a great job in telling that part of his story.
Yeah. I also enjoyed Eleven's training. That's growth within her because now that she's she got her powers back because she did lose them in what was it?
End of season 3, she lost them.
Yeah. So now that she got them back and it seems like she's even more powerful.
Yes.
Now she had to add another level to her skill set, with the parkour and the training and stuff, just to kind of like I said, level up her game.
Absolutely.
Because now she's dealing with the military. She's a wanted target.
Well, and remember, she's supposed to be a weapon.
Yeah,
she was supposed to be a weapon regardless. So now we actually get to see, and for those, I forgot to send him the pre-show notes, so he doesn't know that I had 11th training on my list of pros too.
Yeah.
So we right here because that was on my list. I will say I didn't like and I didn't fall for the okie doke that they were chasing her. I knew that wasn't her,
Right.
that they were chasing, but the park, the extravagant training setup that they had for her, that was very cool. Definitely felt very 80s with some of the like Rube Goldberg setup of the things she's got to get by, and a nice callback to all the crops that are grown in Hawkins with her, using her powers to explode the pumpkin heads on
Yeah.
on the scarecrows. Really, really well done.
And using her powers to like jump even higher.
Yes, like
That was cool.
almost flying. Yeah,
That was really cool for me too.
Oh, because we've seen her make cars and vans and stuff do that. Well, it's like, oh, she should be able to make herself do that, and that was a nice added twist. That looked really cool. Yes, that was dope. And I think they did a good job just catching everybody up, because it's been years since we
It
had a new
has.
season.
There's been a lot of gaps, even between seasons 3 and 4, and then now it's been 2-3 years?
Yeah, it was like 3 years between seasons. Like, it's been a minute. So they did a good job catching up without being too overly expositional. And I think starting up with Robin as the radio DJ and catching everyone up while simultaneously, trying to placate the military was a really good exponential setup there that they delivered.
Yeah, and then the code too.
Yes.
That they did speak. I was like, that was cool. That was impressive. So it just shows like these. It's just so funny that how we still see them as kids.
Yes.
Are thinking 2 steps ahead of the military.
Right. Constantly.
That just testify. That's a testimony to the intelligence that these characters have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the use of Diana Ross.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, I mean, look, I'm a Detroit cat. I'm a sucker for some Motown.
Absolutely.
I'm a sucker for some Motown. She started off with Rockin' Robin, and then she put on that Diana Ross. It was upside down. I was like, oh, come on. Round and round. Like, come on. Look, the Duffer Brothers, all 5 seasons have killed it with this show.
They are truly children of the 80s. It's, another plus too. When the little girl, I'm forgetting their names and stuff as of right now, but
Holly?
Holly, when she got kidnapped by Vecna, and Vecna wooed her by giving her a cassette player and the Tiffany tape. And it's just so funny, like that weekend when Stranger Things premiered, I ended up going to a freestyle concert, an 80s freestyle concert.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany was one of the headliners.
No.
And I got a picture with Tiffany. You can check out my Facebook when you get a chance. But
wow.
And it's just so funny now. I'm like, I just heard her perform that song.
Well, we have 2 whole generations who had never heard of Kate Bush until Stranger Things.
Exactly. And that song, and it resurrected that song.
Yeah. I mean, she was she was a British star. Like, she wasn't even that popping over here.
Right.
And now all of a sudden everybody running up that hill.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of which, Holly went beyond those 2.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find
well, don't go too far. Don't go too far.
I'm going too far. Okay.
Don't go too far. We're going to try to stick in. We're going to transition a little bit into, let's do some cons here for episode 1 and then transition to episode 2. Okay. A couple negatives. Now I have to say them, I got to be balanced. I got to be Thanos.
Absolutely.
I got to be balanced. Lucas's hair is a crime.
Oh God, that hairline.
That wig is, especially how fresh he looked last season. And then you do this to the brother?
The Tyler Perry wig.
It's so bad. And yes, there were some brothers rocking that, but I didn't see that until like 89. And even then, it was still whack. And there's no excuse. It's not like all brothers had that, like, because we saw, anybody that had a high, a high top fade, they look better.
They had a hair.
They had a hairline.
They had a shape up. They had a
shape up. They had a lineup. I mean, freaking Big Daddy Kane. I mean, Kane wouldn't have, Rock him. Cats that had their hair like that, their hair was impeccable. And that's how he looked in season 4. And I'm like, why? How you gonna do my brother like this?
Okay, to his credit, ain't no black barbers in Hawkins.
You know what? The only black barber they had, he probably jetted once the earth split open.
It was probably
because we ain't seen their parents all season. Where their parents at? Their parents probably left them with the white folks. You want we out.
Yeah.
They is gone. Because most of that town split.
Yeah.
It was like we out inside.
We ain't dealing with this.
The earth split open. They talking about hell on earth, or we out. We don't play with the devil like that. Nope. No. We gone.
8 Mile Road is not even like that.
It was so like, yeah. I'll give that as a caveat. He ain't got no decent barber. That's okay. I'll take that. Steve and John. Jonathan battling over Nancy. It seems it's where we are in the story. It seems frivolous. Like, why? Like, your life has to be a little bit more serious than to be really competing over this girl's attention. To me,
okay.
I
think it kind of adds like a small layer to it, just to add something else. Because yes,
they've been fighting over her since season 1. Like, this is a old record they keep spinning.
Okay, fair point.
You know what I'm saying? That and that's why it's like, if it was something that had started in season 3 and now it's come to a head, and one of the only bastions of joy that Jonathan or Steve could find in life is Nancy, and they're fighting over that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you've been fighting the same fight since season 1, and you haven't really, and you really haven't gotten that much serious. Like, they're in episode 2, they introduced this thought that Jonathan wants to propose. Cool. I like that. But then you need to make it so that Steve is equally serious. Because in season 4, he kind of hinted at, I want to have 6 kids, and, kind of, hey, it would be nice if you, but my wife had these 6 kids, and driving a camper across country, and, wouldn't that be nice? And she's like, oh, that would be nice. Like, they need to be having more serious conversations about next steps in life if you're going to continue that conflict. But you don't see that happening. She's just being super serious, gang leader here, covert ops leader. And there just seem to be like high school boys fighting over contention when they're like 20 years old now.
About that, yeah.
They're not even kids no more. So like, they're being overly, childish in this competition when they're grown people now. They're 20, 21 years old now.
Yeah, you have to put that stuff on the back burner right now. Like, hell on earth is happening.
Yeah, exactly. That was just like a turnoff to me. I'm like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I'm trying to worry about being alive. I'm worried about what's coming out of these cracks. Like, I'm not worried about, okay, you like her, whatever. Like, man, no, yeah. Yeah, like that just seems way too frivolous for me. Okay. Episode 2.
Okay.
We're transitioning to the vanishing of Holly Wheeler. One of my pros, we'll start with Holly Wheeler. The Holly Wheeler breadcrumbs pay off, which is a really cool thing. Because honestly, after a while, before watching it, at first, like when Dustin, when they're talking about it and they pick up Dustin and he's like, why Holly? I was like, yeah, why Holly? But then I thought about it, and back in season 1, Holly saw the hands reaching, saw the lights going off in the room at at Will's house when
Right.
he was missing, and she saw the wall start to be pushed in. Like, stuff was happening around her, and they had plenty of little breadcrumbs around Holly Wheeler in previous seasons
Yep.
that are now
Paying
off. But that didn't trigger until I see Dustin's like, "Why Holly?" And I'm just like, "Yeah,
Yo, they've been and
why Holly?"
you had to remind me of that. I'm like, yo, she really was there. And she was, I mean, look, actually smaller at the time, but
Yeah, she was like 4 or
yeah.
5 or something like that.
So it just goes to show, it's like, yo, you know what? Vecna's been around, and he's been plotting this
Yes.
for so long, and you just don't really think about it until you really have to remember those breadcrumbs. And sometimes those are those little Easter eggs, those are those little things, those little details that you have to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, if I hadn't rewatched the show in anticipation of season 5 starting, I wouldn't have remembered.
Absolutely. Honestly, I didn't.
Yeah.
But you reminded me of that. And I'm like, oh, snap. Like, yo, Vecna was there before Vecna was even introduced.
Yes. He was pulling strings back then that whole time.
He had this plan for a long time.
Backups on backups on what he was going to do.
Absolutely.
Another pro, I think, is Noah Schnapp. Like, he finally gets to do more acting, because most of this most of the series, he's just been either possessed or just this little timid, scared kid, or gone. Yeah, I mean, season 1, he's gone, and seasons 2 and 3, he's just, either possessed or scared. He got to do a little bit more in 4, but like Noah Schnapp is actually starting to be able to show his ability to act and interact, with his co-stars in a really enjoyable and a great storytelling way.
And what's so good about his character? He's dealing with the trauma of being kidnapped into the Upside Down in season 1. He's dealing with the trauma of being possessed and so forth. And now it's time to say, all right, I'm tired of this. I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to be healed.
Absolutely.
And he's showing that through his acting that we really didn't get to see.
Yeah.
So that's that's definitely a huge pro.
Yeah, I'm really happy that they're letting him shine in this, because all the other kids really had plenty of opportunities to do so, but he's kind of just been held back, and that's the character, because his mom, Joy has held him back.
Yeah,
Joyce has really held him back and kept him in that bubble, of protection, and now he's actually being able to break free, and really shine, which is dope. A couple cons about this episode.
all right.
My first one, and again, shout out to my girl Jamila Cameron, because we talked about this ad nauseum. Karen Wheeler, that chick is dead. She dead, man. You telling me she took that to the chest and survived?
Holly's mother, right?
Holly's, yeah. Holly.
Yeah.
She's dead.
A miracle.
That chick.
I'm gonna give it to her. She fought.
Oh no! Hey,
she stood up and fought. But
her and Ted stood up and fought. But there's no way she takes that and survives. There's no way that her chest was open, all that exposure. She'd have bled out before Nancy found her. She's gone.
Yeah.
And that is a problem to me, because now you're making all the characters seem too Teflon. And in horror, people gotta die.
Yeah.
For there to be really that's the one knock I have for the Duffers is I don't feel enough suspense when it comes to the main characters because they barely even get hurt.
Yeah.
Outside of the beatdown that Dustin got, they barely get hurt. Like they've been tossed and thrown by psychic people and been slapped by Demogorgons, and they ain't even got no arm and no sling. They ain't got no crutches. They ain't limping. I'm like, how Teflon are these kids? You know what I'm saying?
It kind of takes you out of it because these are actually supposed to be average kids, smart kids, but average kids.
But these are average, middle American, Midwestern kids. These aren't athletes from IMG Academy, these are not cream of the crop kids who can take more than the average kid. These are your run of the mill bargain basement kids.
And only one of them's an athlete.
And one of them is an athlete, and he's not a great athlete.
Right.
He's a bench warmer. I mean, he hit the big shot. And as a basketball player, as you know, and for us jocks who are big geeks, I love seeing that because in the 80s, it wasn't cool to be a jock and be a geek.
Right. You had to be one or the other.
What they showed, that was a big conflict back then. And for him to have to try to live in those both worlds was really dope, even though they didn't like expound on it. But it was dope that they showed that dichotomy. So, yeah, you have one bench warmer and a bunch of unathletic nerds.
Yeah. And they all get...
and they Teflon. They never hurt. It's like, and now it's like, oh, come on, man. Karen gets hit like that, and she ain't dead. And not only she ain't dead, but they expect her mere hours later that she can write and communicate, and she's awake. Come on, that woman. That not only is she should be dead, she would be in a medically induced coma. That woman would not be conscious. She'd be intubated. She wouldn't be breathing on her own in some neck brace. I was like, come on, man. Y'all killing me here. Yeah. If they did it with Ted, who didn't take as big of a hit, I'd be like, okay. He didn't get hit as hard. But she was up and personal. All that was, I was like, nah, man, she's dead. Come on.
Because Ted ended up dying, right?
No. They didn't show him again, but they said they're both alive.
If anything, Karen should have died right after that. Gave them the clues and gone.
Yes. Given her last effort, last ditch bit of life to give them that clue to save her daughter and been dead. And it's like, and then I got, speaking of Karen and Ted, one thing the show asked is with Nancy and Mike is they didn't warn their parents. I'm like, how did you not tell them? It's not like they can't. It's not like in season 1 or season 2 where it was mostly just the kids involved. You've got Joyce, you've got Hop, you've got the older kids who are now adults.
Right.
You have all these people to corroborate what has been happening. Plus, everybody witnessed the earth split open. Now is a good time to say, hey, this is what we've been dealing with. Hence why all these people are here. Why all these strange things have been happening. How do you not tell them what has been going on and what you've been dealing with? Yeah, you may not tell them that you're chasing and hunting down Vecna, but you should explain to them what's been going on.
Exactly.
How do they not know? And Joyce and them are living in your house. You know what I'm saying? And I get why Ted's fed up. He feeding all these people. They ain't helping clean. They ain't tell me what's going on. I got monsters coming in my house, slicing my chest open, slicing my wife's chest open.
Now, if some miracle they survive this, I'm leaving.
Right?
I'm leaving. Fuck the wife. F the wife. F the kids. F Hawkins. I'm starting fresh and new.
Right? I'm gone.
Yeah, there's no, because after that, it's like, is there really any peace?
No.
He ain't got no peace.
Ted ain't got no peace.
He has like 10 people in his house that didn't even really respect him.
No, couldn't save him a piece of bacon. eating that man's food, drinking his orange juice. Because generally, you don't feel for Ted because he's kind of oblivious. But when that man was like, "How much longer?" I was like, "You know what, Ted? I feel you, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody respecting you. Ain't nobody." And I could tell he wasn't just fed up for him. He was fed up for his wife, and she's doing all that work. Joyce couldn't be bothered to help stay clean up nothing. Oh, we gotta run. I'm so sorry. No, you wasn't sorry. You didn't want to do none of that work.
You know what you were doing.
You were trying to get out of doing housework. So they both should be dead, and two, how do you not tell them?
You know what? If Ted dies, speaking of it, if Ted dies, he'd be happy,
right?
Because he knows what he's gonna have to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he got the first of all, and then not to mention that property damage. You know, just kill me. Just kill me.
For real. You throw his hands up. Like, it's over. Insurance ain't gonna cover this. But there's nothing in my policy for interdimensional damage. So
I swear, I bet it's not even in the policy.
It's not in the policy.
You know,
there's nothing interdimensional damage. Come on, man.
No,
mess up my dog. Mess up my feelings.
That insurance company's gonna be like, you know what? Nah, we can't cover this.
We can't cover that. We denied.
The second I'm like, you know what? Just take it. Just
forget it. It's over.
I'm ready to go to glory.
Right. So pertaining to, speaking of damage from the demos, what hurts them now? There's so much inconsistency with what hurts them. So you can shoot 100 bullets into one and they act like Superman. But Karen can stab one with a broken wine bottle and it's like it's in pain.
I would say this, but it wasn't that much pain. Like, it was there, but it didn't phase him as much as you think it did. You know, it's like it.
But it
it's like a
phased it.
scratch. It's like when you get a scratch, you're like, okay, then now I'm gonna slice you, and she did, and the demo did that.
I don't know, because to me, because again, we want to suspend belief. We got to suspend disbelief. But a bullet hurts more than the stab. Like, a bullet is coming, it's hitting you. There's the velocity. There's the entry that hurts. Like, and they just act like bullets are nothing. But it's gonna react. Like, now again, if they establish something that shows that demos are susceptible to things like something simple, like, let's say acid, but not like hydrochloric, but let's say citric acid, because it's a beautiful bright thing, it's fruity, it's a thing that's only in the right side up. Something like that doesn't grow in the upside down. So citric acid from the wine hurts the demos because of, who cares why. But if you establish something like that, then okay, then I can buy it. I can buy that this woman. Yeah, but if you establish something, because the one scene, you can, you back in season 4, we have Hop shoot a demo dog in Russia and kills it. Oh, it's hurt. But then you shoot another 100 times and it does nothing. It's like, well, what hurts them then? You gotta be consistent with what hurts these things.
You're right. I never thought about it. You give me things I never thought about. So
I try,
and I appreciate that. I know. I definitely appreciate that.
Like people, my wife says I like to nitpick. It's like, no, when I enjoy a property, yes, I analyze it, and because I enjoy it, and I enjoy the X and Y the Duffer Brothers have done, but none of us are perfect, and to me, that's one of the things. I'm like, I need some consistency on what hurts these things, and just, I don't have any consistency when it comes to how the demos are. And then again, on the inconsistency, we have Hop and 11 in the upside down, and we've got this massive this massive military base, the upside down. You know, one thing I noticed?
What's that?
Everybody walking around without masks.
You know what? have they? I'm pretty sure by now. You know what it is? No, because they knew that. If they knew that Will was in the Upside Down and he came back the way he is, they know, like, all right, there's oxygen, we're fine.
Well, but here's the thing: the first 4 seasons, every time someone's down there, they're covering their mouth because it's because of all the stuff in the air. Even if they've been like, they're covering their mouth. When Eddie and Nancy and Robin and Steve went down there, they even covered their mouths.
Right.
Like, first 2 seasons, they're all in hazmat. Everyone's covering their mouth. Now they just rolling around chilling, breathing easy.
You know, I think they just never established, but probably just think of it. They probably thought of it as a small detail that we can just go in there now and not, and just establish, like, okay, we don't really need hazmat suits because they know more about it now.
Maybe. There's one thing that they did that peaked in my mind, like, maybe this is why. And when Robin was doing her intro, when she talked about the dandruff falling from the sky, that maybe them breathing that in makes it easier for them to breathe in the Upside Down.
Right. Or maybe too, since it was open, our oxygen got in there. And there's consistent openings, so it made it, that airflow actually made it easier to breathe while in there.
Maybe, yeah.
Because back then they had their masks and their hazmats because they didn't know what was in there. But now, everything now it's easy to get in and inside and out of the Upside Down, where it's like, all right, we know better, we know more about it.
Yeah, that's because it's been a while. It's been 6 to 9 months that who knows how long the military is, but they've been studying. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can take that.
All right.
Okay. Episode 3, we get a big positive, in my opinion, of Will and Robin becoming like this new duo that has been really great for Will's development.
Yeah.
How do you feel about their interactions, and particularly Maya Hawke and Noah Shop just really having a great performance?
I loved how she just took her experience and was able to have Will relate to her experience. Show them that, okay, hey, we have a lot in common. Where, I haven't been through exactly what you've been through, but I've been through something similar. And this is what I did. And it made a lot of sense then. It showed that, it's another part of that growth where, like, he's finally taking charge of his life and actually just showing, like, all right, I'm dealing with this trauma. I'm going to fight this trauma head on. And, and she's just giving him that extra boost, that extra confidence, that little pep talk, and say, listen, you're not alone with it. You're not alone with this.
Yeah.
We got you. So I appreciated that.
And she's been paying a lot of attention to him, because in my third watch through of volume 1, I noticed that she was watching the interaction that Mike and Will had when Mike was telling him he's a sorcerer, and that with Elle missing, they need some more magic, and she heard that and then piggybacked off of it.
Right.
So that's just been really great execution by the Duffers in developing this relationship between the two of them. Now the Turnbow Trap episode, it is what it is. It has the Turnbow Trap, which was hilarious. We get the return of Erica, who she is too grown to be trying to play a middle schooler. She's like 19, 20. She's grown a lot in the past 3 years or whatever it's been since they shot 3 or 4 years since they shot the last one. So, like, she has grown so much. She does not look like a child anymore.
But she's that same character that we know and love.
She is. But did you notice the camera tricks to make her look like she's small?
I can believe it.
To make her look like she's shorter. I was like, because I think she's taller than Caleb McLaughlin is.
Really?
IRL. Yeah. I saw a picture of them together on the red carpet. So like they are really trying to make her look like she's a middle schooler. But I look at her, I'm like, that's a grown black woman.
I mean, she definitely got the sass of one.
100%. Oh man. The turbo trap. You know, we've been talking about, especially the first 2 episodes. They did a great job of showing how smart these people are.
Right.
But the turbo trap really showed me there's a lot of dumb mistakes that I don't understand how they made. Particularly when they had the Turnbull family. Like, you have them in this barn. Okay, cool. Why are the doors open? Anybody could just walk by and look in. Like,
well, luckily the barn's pretty much in the middle of nowhere.
There were houses right, like,
were there?
Yeah. And
I only watched it one.
Yeah, and you see it when after Steve drives up and hits the Demogorgon. You see how's it like. The thing is, like, it's supposed to be on this abandoned farm, but like it's not that far away. Right. And I'm like, and even if it is that far away, the whole point is to seclude them, to keep them from knowing where they are. The last thing you want is them to see outside to give hints to where they are. That was the whole thing in season 2, where Will's possessed and they put him in, the barn, the little shed out back, and they have all the lights and stuff and cut off his senses so he doesn't know where he is. Like, y'all went through all of that. How do y'all make mistakes after that? You should know better. Like, Joyce, Will, y'all were there. Like, if it was Robin set up, her and Erica, because they weren't there for that and they made those mistakes, okay, I could get it. They don't have that experience. But Joyce and Will, come on.
Yeah.
Y'all too experienced to make dumb mistakes like that, leaving doors open. Because then he tackles Derek, he's like, get the door. Duh. It shouldn't be open. It should have been open in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was just like, come on. Like, I know we have to have holes for drama, but like those are like silly mistakes that people who have been this careful, this calculated, how are you making a mistake that silly? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a very interesting point. One pro I do have though was the way like Erica was describing Derek and then Nick Bishop. That was just what made me like really just appreciate the character. Like, all right, Erica's back. I'm like, yo, they better not like soften her up. Nope, she's still the same.
No, so she's still the same. Eric, you can't spell America without Erica. You can't. She ain't changed not one damn little bit.
What makes me love it too is like I got a little cousin who is just like her. She's like probably one of the most relatable characters in that entire show because we all have a family member who's just like,
and we're like, will somebody get that child under control? It ain't my child. Somebody get that child under control. And what's funny is that the actress talks about her scene where she blasts Murray and just tears him a new one, and she was nervous and she was like, Mom, I don't feel right, like cussing this man out, and she's like, my mom's like, baby, he's an actor, he understands. Just do your job. Like, and it's just funny that the person behind the character has trepidation about behaving that way because she knows. But when she pulled that syringe out because Tina wouldn't eat her pie, I was like, yo, and then tilted her head back and jammed that.
She ain't get married. Because now they know how she can get. Listen, if she becomes a widow, she did it.
Yup. 100% she did it. And you ain't going to be able to prove it neither because she's too smart.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to prove it. You're going to know she did it, but she ain't going to be able to prove it.
Yep. And she gonna be watching murder mysteries, taking notes.
Right. she gonna be like she's gonna be like that character the killer from season 1 of Luther, the Wilson's character. She just gonna be bragging how she did it, letting you know she did it, but you can't prove it. Oh man. But the Turnbull Trap was interesting how they I liked how they continued to have the tension between Steve and Dustin.
Yeah.
And also the driving into the Upside Down. That was fun. Nice, a really fun scene. Steve continuing to do his layman versions of being smart, and it paying off. Just a really a lot silly and fun, and a lot of this, with this episode that I think added some more of the comedic enjoyment that we enjoy of Stranger Things.
Right.
And then they kind of continued that in the first half of episode 4, The Sorcerer. Especially with, even though personally I generally don't like disrespectful children characters.
Yeah.
But the change from Derek into Delightful Derek was hilarious. Delightful Derek had me cracking up. That boy. When he's talking to the kids and he starts whapping them on the head with the yardstick.
Listen. All right. We millennials and Gen X, Zennials and Gen Xers. So it was like, it always takes that good whooping, right?
Right.
He got it.
He sure did. He got it. He's like, I'm gonna behave from now on.
Exactly.
That whooping his mom and his dad didn't give him. He was like, you know what? Okay, I'm Delightful Derek. Oh, that was so good. That kid, talented.
Yeah, I would love. I can't wait to see more from him.
Yes,
because after this, he's gonna blow up. We're gonna get more.
Absolutely. He's the breakout performer of this season.
Absolutely,
by far.
Yeah, absolutely.
By far. Even though I know I harped on this earlier, and it ties in a bit. So, despite my criticism of we don't know what hurts demos, the military versus demo battle was visually a great watch.
Oh, yeah, when they were on the base, right?
Yes.
And yeah, because it was like, all right, we're getting somewhere, but then they kind of just come back to life. Vecna brings them back, and we're just like, yo, they're not dead.
Right?
So it just shows like, all right, these things are truly a threat. And then, you know what? I think this kind of solves that question. Now that we're bringing it up, how you said that like Harper in season 3 was able to shoot him dead.
Yes,
but yet in season 4, they're pretty much intolerable to certain to bullets or certain things. Remember when they got shot dead? It was in Russia. Was Vecna around?
No, he was far away.
Now that, they're fighting the military and they're coming back to life. Vecna controls them.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of helps you just now figuring that out. I'm like, all right, I think that kind of makes more sense where like Vecna is the supreme being and he controls their strengths and their weaknesses.
Well, speaking of supreme, he lost some weight. He got on the Ozempic or something. Because he was looking slim compared to season 4. He was looking chiseled. I was like, okay, what happened? Oh boy, he did some crunches in his free time.
Got some upside down CrossFit.
Right. He was looking slim. So I am going to harp a little bit more on one thing though. So it's one thing if people in Hawkins are fighting against demos with regular bullets.
Right.
I get it. They're you can only access what you can access as a civilian. However, after story time of 4 years of combating against these Demogorgons and Demodogs and whatever, the fact that you're still shooting regular bullets makes no sense because you know these things are affected by fire. So why are you not using explosive rounds?
That's an interesting point. If anything, they could have used the explosive rounds when they got to the wall. Well, technically, what we learned was a sphere.
Right. It's still a wall, a circle wall, yeah.
Yeah.
But why are you not using explosive rounds? If these kids are smart enough to throw acetone on these things and burn them, how have you not figured that out by now?
Because the kids are 2 steps ahead of the military.
It's been 4 years, though.
The kids are staying 2 steps ahead.
But they figured that out season 1. You can't tell me military couldn't have figured that out after season 1. They figured that out season 1. Jonathan and Nancy figured that out like episode 5. And they still ain't burning these things. And then when they go to burn it, obviously I get, Vecna pushed it back because, they were only able to burn him in the upside down because he was distracted. So that made sense. But I'm sorry, these demos, you are not using explosive rounds. You're not making these things have to crawl through, gasoline or something so you can set them on fire before you have to. Like, come on, you got to be smarter than that.
That's an interesting point.
That was my big gripe about that fight scene. Was like, if anything, you do more with shotgun blasts or whatever because that has a bigger spark and range, like the commander brother was using to do damage to them. Something just to show that you've thought about combat in the past 4 years. And if you want to thinking about it, you think you're cool, even though the bullets have done nothing all this time. Okay, you think you're cool, but you clearly have shown that you are very ineffective.
Yeah.
And then they had to do with the 50 cal coming up talking about get some.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't show, and then that's what took down the one demo, and that's what was cool when he resurrected it, Night King style.
Right.
That was impressive there. So that to me was like, okay, cool. You're finally showing something impacted them enough. But I was like, come on, some of the stuff is the kids been knowing this. Like, come on, you could have figured that out.
Well, then remember, the kids ain't gonna tell them that because they're against the kids.
Yeah. I mean, they're not.
So the kids ain't gonna give them they're not gonna give them their secrets.
Yeah, that's true. What are your thoughts on the return of 8?
Of who?
Of 8. Number 8.
You know what? Oh yeah, her sister.
Yeah.
I was actually happy to see that because I was just like, when they gave us the nice flashback, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a little, we're gonna get some like a little Avengers Endgame type. There's gonna be a bigger fight. There's help.
Well, so that's the thing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna tie this part into the last part of this section, which is theories and thoughts.
Okay.
So there's a theory out there. So everyone is saying flashback to episode 1 of season 4, the basketball game and the Hellfire campaign. Lucas hits the shot to win the state title. Erica rolls a nat 20 to kill Vecna in the campaign.
Right.
So theory, now to kill Vecna, it takes a nat 20 in D&D. And for those listening, Vecna is an actual name of a character in D&D. That's a D&D character for this show came out and was developed. So that's pulled directly from Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
So the nat 20 roll is what takes out Vecna in the campaign. We have 11. 11, and now we reintroduced number 8.
Correct.
But 11 plus 8 only equals 19. The ultimate bad guy is still the Mind Flayer. So, do we get a turn in Henry turning on the Mind Flayer? Because he's number 1. Do we get 11, 8, and 1 equaling 20, ultimately doing battle against the Mind Flayer?
What number is Will, though? Have we established that?
So here's the thing about that. So there's 2 possibilities. Either one turns and fights with them against the Mind Flayer, but he says something interesting to Will when after he kills everybody else and he lifts up Will and brings him to him. He says to Will, "You were my first." So Will is his number 1.
Right.
So either 11 plus 8 plus 1 is either Henry or maybe Will.
Okay. That's an interesting theory.
And I think it might take those 3, the 3 between 11, 8, and Will, to take out, to equal that nat 20, to take out Vecna.
But then also, okay, what about the other kids that were kidnapped by Vecna? And they're also going through the same thing that Will is going through. They're in that cocoon and they're getting all of Vecna's powers.
So that's the thing is how long do they have to be under that influence for it to happen? And so, okay, super spoiler for those who have not seen the stage play or have not heard about the stage play, but there is a prequel stage play for Stranger Things. It's on Broadway right now, and it sheds a lot of light into what happened before all these events. And it also shows us and tells us how Henry got his powers and what happened to him, and how he first interacted with the Mind Flayer. So, like Max's question on why he's scared to go in that cave, that's all answered in the stage play. So a lot of stuff in that. So I encourage you. I'm not going to spoil that. I want people check that out on your own. Dig deep on that.
Lost you. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm going to try to go back to my camera.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Yeah, my camera stopped working for something. I don't know. That was weird.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay. So stage play has a lot of stuff that's really cool. So I encourage people to check that out and do some digging on there. But I think that there is going to be some because the Mind Flayer ultimately is still the big bad. Even though Vecna is what's in front of us, the Mind Flayer has been big bad throughout, the series. It's been in the shadows, a lot of the time. And with the appearance of Vecna, kind of took the focus off of the Mind Flayer since season 2. But he's still whatever it is still
it's still lurking.
It's still lurking, exactly. So that's one potential theory. Then we have some other things. Will Max come out of the coma?
Yeah. Will Max have powers?
Yeah, is Max? Yeah, because that's the thing is I don't know. Because I don't know if Max was flayed or not. Like, does it count? Because what happened to her isn't what happened to Will. So, like, does that count or not? How that's a great question. I didn't even think about that. Will Max have powers? That's a fantastic question. The Duffer Brothers have said there's going to be a very big, brutal death. Who's going to get it? And we know it's not Nancy because they've talked about a Nancy spinoff already.
Right.
So I think it's going to be Steve, personally. And I think he signed his death warrant when he was talking about the future. You know, the horror trope. You can't be talking about kids in the future and your plans for the future and and horror stuff. That means you gonna get it.
Yeah.
You know,
And that will be the moment where he could have got Nancy.
Right. Exactly.
Nancy made that decision, and then boom, he gets got.
Then boom, he gets got. Exactly. She chooses him, then he gets got. Just a thought question to me, especially after all the times they've used him, why did they not, especially after the earthquake and the split, why did they not bring the teacher Scott Clark into the fold? As smart as he is.
That teacher wait, unless he left Hawkins, unless he said
no, because he was teaching Erica's class when they brought her out of class. Yeah. I would have told him, I'd be like, hey, yo, this is what's going on. You've helped us by answering these questions. You are one of the smartest men in Hawkins. I'm telling you what's going on. Because why hide what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Could he be the Mind Flayer?
No. Nah. That would be a twist and a half, though.
You got to think, because they got to throw in some plot twists.
That'd be a twist and a half, though. He just seems too nice. I don't know about that.
Hey.
And so the two more questions I don't expect anybody to answer. These are just questions I have.
That's fine.
What was the military doing with 8? Because they just had her there, like, confined. Like, what were they doing with her? You have to have a purpose, especially with Linda Hamilton's character. She clearly has a purpose in everything she's doing. What was the purpose that they were doing with her? You know?
Maybe, you know what it is? I'm thinking Captain America wise.
Mm-hmm.
How they tried to replicate the super soldier serum.
Okay. So I'm going to say this. Okay. I'm going to give a little tidbit here. All right. From the stage play. So the reason why 11 has powers is because they infused her and the other children with blood from 1.
Okay.
Because when the Mind Flayer touched him and impacted him, it changed his blood and changed his DNA. So Dr. Brenner took some of that blood, infused it into 11 and those other kids, and that's why they have powers.
Right.
And when Henry essentially flayed Will, that changed his DNA, and that's why he has powers now.
So that's what I'm thinking. What they're doing with 8, they're trying to use her blood to replicate that. I'm just gonna say super soldier serum.
But it makes sense. Yeah.
They're trying to replicate that with her. She's the closest thing that they have because they can't get to 11.
Right.
We don't know exactly what happened to all the other kids. I think the other kids end up
they all died.
Yeah, they all died. So
they all died.
That's all we have left. So it's like, all right, this is who we have. We can't get 11. We got 8. Let's see what we can get out of her. Because remember, the military wants that she's a weapon.
Yeah. So
they're just trying to create more weapons.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because at first I thought 1 had 8. Because when my other question is, because 8's powers were visual. She projected into your mind and made you see things that weren't there.
Right.
So I was thinking that the version of the Creel house that Holly was seeing and playing dress up in and eating all the food and everything, I thought that might have been he was making 8 project that into her mind. But the military has 8. So how is Henry projecting that into her? And it makes me wonder what's going on behind that wall, because we don't know what's going on behind that wall.
Does Henry have 8 powers as well? Remember, everything comes from Henry.
Technically, it's sourced from him. Maybe. They hadn't shown it before, but he might. Yeah, you never know. They haven't displayed that as being a power of his, but it makes sense since he's technically the source.
Right. So
So yeah, that's like you said. There's so many. It's not finished. So there's so many open-ended questions that we have here that makes it so freaking enjoyable, man.
exactly, because for me, it's like, all right, it's like I'm kind of creating my own fan fiction. I'm creating my own theories. There's the conversation. We're having this conversation. This is one reason why I still enjoy appointment television,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, all right, I'll watch a show, or even if I'm binge watching a show, I won't just watch the whole thing straight down. I would take breaks
Yes.
and just say, all right, let me watch this. Let me digest the information. Let me come up with my own theories. Let me, come take the pen, like they say in wrestling, take the pencil and see what I can come up with, see what I can predict.
Put my own finish on.
Exactly. And then make my predictions and see what happens from then on in. So it's just so many things that can happen,
Mm-hmm.
where we have to wait another
10 days.
10 days.
10 days. It's coming up. 10 days.
Jesus, I gotta get my Christmas shopping done. I still got this weekend is about to be a wrap.
Hey, me and the wife finished mine tonight. So
there you go.
oh, wow, awesome. Well, listeners, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Original Jeek Podcast. It has been an absolute blast here with DJ Mr. Byrd.
Absolutely.
Check him out on the Codex Prime podcast. Trust me, I'm subscribed to it. It's such an enjoyable listen. And I was so glad that Carl here joined the League of Jeeks group, shared the live stream of Codex Prime in it. And I was like, you know what? I enjoyed this cat show. Let me have this cat on the show. And as I knew it, we had a fantastic time tonight. Before we go, Carl, go ahead and just tell them where they can find you and the show and Codex Prime on the internet.
Well, you can just go ahead and Google Codex Prime podcast, and you will definitely catch it. You will definitely end up finding everything that we have. Our link tree is usually the first thing that comes up, and then you have all our links. We're available on all social media platforms, all podcasting platforms. You can catch me at Mr. Byrd 1027 on all social media platforms, including my Mixcloud, where you actually, if you subscribe to my Mixcloud, you get all my personal mixes, all my radio mixes well in advance. As soon as they're done, you'll be the first. If you subscribe, you'll be the first one to hear them. And then also you end up getting all my Fleet DJ projects that's coming up, especially the Christmas Blend CD, that project that's going to be coming out soon this week, actually. And Mixcloud. Search at Mr. Byrd 1027 on all platforms, even on TikTok, where I just do my regular blends and all my other TikTok stuff. Yes, I'm 41 with a TikTok, and I don't care.
Same. It's all good. All right. Geez, we thank you for listening, and we could not do this show alone. Not with all you who continue to support us. Please rate and review the show on your podcasting app of choice. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox, and of course, one of our preferred options, Good Pods. And if you can't find us, let us know at jeeknation@gmail.com or message us on Facebook at Jeek Nation. And until next time, peace.
Later.
Ready to make an entrance, so backwards. Good. Come on, clap for me.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, slow down. Whoa, speed up.
This is DJ What, and you're listening to the Original Jeek Podcast.